Hmm. Hello. I'm double recording. I love the way this mic sounds. It's just amazing. I'm recording on my phone right here. I don't know why. I just felt like doing it. But fuck. See every flaw, every little wrinkle, every hair out of place. And this is just soft. For those of you who are old enough to remember this show, oh my God, how am I going to forget this show? It was with Bruce Willis when Bruce Willis first came out onto the scene in like the 80s. Bruce Willis and whatever the fuck her name is, starts with a C. And he was, maybe in his like late 20s, early 30s, hottie, brand new on the Hollywood scene. And it was like a detective show. And his co-star was a woman. I want to say she was probably gorgeous woman. When I remember the name of the show, where the fuck are my, oh, what the, I have to pause. I'll be back. Okay, so I took the opportunity. What I was looking for was my damn box of tissues. So I had to go get one. And I just took the opportunity to go do a little Google search. The name of the show is called Moonlighting, and Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. Sybil Shepherd was, I don't know, maybe 10 years older than Bruce Willis at the time. And they would do this thing around her where they would make a special lighting around her. And it was just this halo glow. And I was always so annoyed by it. I was like, who does she think she is trying to just glow up this joint and be like, now I know. Sybil, I feel you, babe. I can't put the glow on me. Listen, this is me zeroed up. Zeroed up. I look pretty good. I look pretty good. And my hair is greasy as fuck. I don't I don't care, but what's happening is it's just like it looks cute, but then it just like falls. We're not having a podcast about that. What are we having a podcast about? Well, so I was supposed to do a podcast planning session today, about 45 minutes ago, with my co-host for the Audacity experiment, Abigail Rebecca. And she had a meeting that got scheduled on her calendar. And so, oh, mother trucking A. Stop. This microphone. Love this microphone. And also, it, for real right now, fuck. It's a mic arm. Right. If you know, you know, it's a mic arm. And it's got these springs on it that allow it to go like telescope out. And those springs are loud as fuck. Why am I talking about Sybil Shepherd? Because I kind of feel like her right now. So I've got over here on Zoom, I've got the beautiful kind of softy filter, like, just kind of touch me up a little bit, make me a little blurred, put a Sybil Shepherd glow on my ass. And over here, I'm like, And you know what? It all looks good. And it is what it is. And I'm coming into this place of just like radical self-acceptance. But lighting is phenomenal. Lighting is everything. It's phenomenal. Um, and I can hear my daughter out there, so my kids are on spring break. And so my youngest is home. Oh, that reminds me, I need to tell my oldest. Y'all get to just see all the back end shit, okay? Here, I'm gonna show you what I'm texting her. Hey, if you come home, please be quiet with the all the doors because with the doors because I'm recording a podcast app. And then I'm going to say Riz. No, then I'm going to say Huz. Okay. Don't know what any of these things mean. The other day I played a game with my kids where they wrote down a bunch of like these like kid terms. I don't freaking know what the hell this shit means. If you can see it, don't worry about it. Phantom tax. Skibbity toilet's old, but I pop out at 1 in the morning. I don't fucking know what this chopped chin, Duke Dennis. And so they wrote all these on like a sticky note. And then the game was we're all sitting at the kitchen table and the game was I say those words and they try not to laugh. I think I won. But I found the piece of paper and I've just been randomly texting them these words to the point where yesterday I did it to my oldest. It was actually in our group thread, I think, and I wrote chopped chin just for no reason because I have no idea what any of these things mean. And my oldest was like, "Shut up, Ryan." She thought it was my oldest. She's like, "Stop. That's so annoying. Stop." I was like, "No, it's me." And then I wrote, "I pop out at 1 in the morning." And then they were both just hysterical, ha ha ha, laughing emojis. Anyway, that's not why I came on here. Why I came on here was to talk about, as I'm sitting there getting ready to do my planning sesh with Abby, which we record because there's always good shit that happens in there. While I was getting ready, I just had these like, just like these downloads of info, like just these downloads, right? And so, um, I was like, man, what I've learned going through, um, 19-year, I think it was 17-year marriage, 20, 21 years together. I don't remember. And what I've gotten to, what I've come to realize is that a couple weeks ago I had a really big epiphany. I had a really big um a, like kind of like insight, like awareness. And the awareness was because I had decided that I was going to put my ass on the line and I was going to put my, if you know what I mean by this, you know, but if you don't, I'll explain it. Sorry. It just is what it is. Like like biology. I try to sometimes just like, but I'm like, oh, fuck. Um, what was I saying? You know the movie This Is 40? I think I'm just gonna like if I had like this cool studio for my podcast and like editors and people who could mix in shit, it would literally be like a screen that came on and just said like over my face like this, and it would say this is menopause. Um, so Brian, are you listening to me? How come you can hear me? Do you have headphones on? Positive? It's okay. Um, she's literally right there. So hot. I'm just gonna take it off because I'm hot. Um, I have side stories on side stories on side stories. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to wear this jacket, well, two reasons. One, I'm usually freezing. And two, to hide my arms because my arms are fat right now. But I just am loving myself, you guys. It's like the first time. And I'm so proud because I've lost 5 pounds and I'm doing it just super slow and steady and just loving myself through the process. So, separate issue. I will fucking get to the point of this podcast. Trust me. I I I think about something and then it's related to something else, so I kind of have to weave it into my storytelling. And then sometimes I just forget where the fuck I was and where the fuck I was going and where the fuck I started and what the fuck I was going to say. So I said, I was going to say Sigourney Weaver, Sybil Shepherd, Moonlighting, Nice Glow Lights, Menopause, This Is 40, podcast. So I'm getting ready. I knew I was going to come back. I'm getting ready to do my recording with Abby. And I'm thinking about, like, I had this massive breakthrough because I have asked a very good friend of mine who is a badass mofo to coach me. And when I asked her, the minute that the words came out of my mouth, the part of me that's like playing small was like in full frontal regret. I was like, what the fuck are you saying? Shut the fuck up. Like, my ego, all of the things that are keeping me small, which is why higher self was like, hey, I think you need to coach me. And she was just like, let's go. And one of the things she said to me was, I'm not your friend. And I was like, and I got it. I was like, yeah, of course. Like, you're not. And so, in coaching with her, there are three areas of my life that I'm working on with her over the next 12 weeks. One is income and revenue generation, but not just revenue generation. It really is like, um, I'm going to try really hard to just, guys, is it onions? I don't know. I had eggs, spinach and onions, and sweet potato for breakfast because I'm on paleo and I'm eating really healthy and I'm feeling really good. But sometimes I have burps and I'm hating my hair because it's just so flat. So I'm just going to fluff it up the whole time. So, I've lost 5 pounds. But the moment that I decided, it was almost like this like thing that came through and like, you need to be coached by her. And we were on the phone and I just said it. And I said it like kind of like, hey, like, what do you think? I was like, I think I need you to coach me. And she was like, let's go. And I was like, and then, the whole, I'm not your friend. I was like, got it. And then, I don't know why, but my nose looks massive right now. My God. I did my makeup like super, um, supposedly super thick, but why does my nose look so big? They say your nose grows. I don't think that's right. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, unless you have like a little button nose and you hate it, but okay. I need to take my ADD meds. Just kidding. I may have ADD. I'm gonna go get tested. Y'all are listening like, bitch, we've known that forever. But I do think I come back to the actual original, like what I was gonna say. So at the moment that I said that, and she was like, okay, good, we're on, I elevated and I was like, get your shit together to myself. And not in like beat up way, but like, it's go time. No more fucking around. That whole part of you that, is confused or is playing like all of it. Like, we're done with that. And I don't know why, but in that moment, that day, I decided to pay attention to my thoughts. And I did it for like a consistent 3 hours. Like that day, I was just like, I want to know, like, I want to pay attention. I want to be conscious of those thoughts that are just operating in the background. And here's what I discovered. I discovered that every single one of my problems, if my girls are upset, if I'm tired, overwhelmed, or stressed, if I'm broke, if I'm angry, if I'm scared, if I'm sad, if I'm all the things that I feel that when I look around my life and I'm in a, negative space, it's all my ex's fault. And then the thought pattern would go from him to, oh, I wonder how he's doing in his new life. Wonder how she is. Wonder how those girls are. Blah, blah, blah. It was a whole story. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, that's why I'm exhausted. Why I'm exhausted is because I'm I'm keeping up this, like, my power's over there. Like, my happiness is over there. My joy is over there. My success is over there. And when I realized it, I was like, oh, fuck no. So what I did in that moment was I accepted my life the way that it is. So I've been angry, bitter, sad, frustrated that I am a full-time single parent 100% of the time my girls are with me. I've been angry, frustrated, sad, scared that the girls don't have the relationship they have with their dad. I've been all the things about my finances, my business, everything ultimately came back to the predominant thought, which was that motherfucker. And in that moment, I accepted my present state. I accepted the present, what my life is. And up until then, I had just been in pissed offness about it. And the pissed offness doesn't affect him. Doesn't impact him. There's nothing happening over there. I mean, energetically maybe, but like who it's impacting is me. And then if it's impacting me, it's impacting my girls. So it was almost like this convergence of all these things, and it happened all at the same time. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I take my power back. I choose this life. I came to a place of like acceptance. Now, have I been pissed off about things that have happened or angry or sad or frustrated? Yeah. But it's now my problem. I own it. It's now my responsibility. It's now my gift. It's now my privilege. And the thing that I got is like, I am the most capable person of being my girl's, like, you know, parent. And then that got me thinking. And that the premise of that was what I was thinking about this morning when this came through. And this is what I want to say. We're 17 minutes in, 19 minutes in, and here we are getting to the good stuff. But there's always a context that I feel it's important to set or establish. So if you are a woman in your 20s, kind of later end of 20s, 30s, early 30s, let's just call it 25 to 32. Let's call it 26, 27, because 27 is knocking on 30's door, and you're really present to like, oh fuck, like 30's right around the corner. So let's just say 27 to 32. This message is for you. There are some things that you don't know until you go through them. There are some things that you don't expect because you haven't been through the thing that that you haven't been through. So when I met my ex, he and I had dated 8 years prior. So I had known him from the time I was 24. We broke up at that point. 8 years went by. We got back together. I was 32. The predominant question, concern, problem to solve in my life at 32 was what, ladies? A biological clock is ticking like a motherfucker. I need to get on this fucking shit. And the way that we got reconnected was really cool. I knew him. I knew he was a good guy. It was very kind of this mystical, magical, weird dream that he had about me, and everything in the dream that he was telling me about. I was like, oh, fuck, it's like my life right now. And so that happened when I was 32, 30, 32, 2002 was 32. And here's the succession of events that happened. Unbeknownst to me, when at that age, at 32, what was my greatest intention? What was my ultimate goal? Having babies. Was it falling in love and and just having a deep romantic relationship? Nope. It was having babies. Why? Well, because women have a biological clock and there's a window. And for all the reasons, biological, societal, all the things, there's pressure. And that pressure is imminent inside of relationships because it was for me. I mean, I was dating a guy, I was 26, he was 21. I dated him with in full awareness that that would never work out because in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Ah, you're not going to be ready to have a kid. Like this is not going to go anywhere. This is not going to end up with, we're not going to end up together." And I assessed every single guy I dated in that way. Are you viable? Are you healthy? Are you stable? And none of them were until I got reconnected with my ex. And he was right there. He was fully on board. And my intention, and again, this is not like I was like, oh yeah, this is the guy I'm going to have babies with, but it was more like he checked off all the boxes. And this is something that I'm going to tell you, this is something that I realized as all of this stuff was coming in about like, oh wow, all my thoughts go to him and all of that, I was starting to rectify and kind of complete and close. Like when I did this practice of accepting the current state of my life, the current state of my parenthood, the current state of my just the state of my life, when I actually was like, okay, okay, I accept this. Like there's no other way but for me to accept it. I could keep being mad about it, but that was just causing me suffering. So it kind of allowed me to go back through the relationship and have a humongous realization that I got exactly exactly what I wanted out of this relationship, which is my two children. And I mean, I got them. I have them. I have them full time. They're with me 100%. So I got my kids because my intention was to have kids. My intention wasn't to build a relationship. Like I am like coming to terms with that. My focus wasn't him. My focus was them always. And I wasn't conscious. I didn't realize it. I didn't walk up to him and be like, hey, I'd like to place an order for two children. I'd like them 2 years spaced apart. Don't know if I can do it. Didn't happen that way because, fuck that shit. Um, that wasn't what was consciously happening, but it was operating in the background. So that isn't even the point of why I wanted to record this episode. Here's the point. The point of this episode is to tell the woman who's in her 20s or her early 30s and she's feeling all the pulls, the pull for kids, the pull for I'm not getting any younger. I literally have a friend who whose girlfriend is, hold on please for me. Cat, two cats, a dog, two kids, me. Cat was just friggin' on my door. Loud. It's loud. So I had to yell at my kid. My kid got the cat. So I have a friend whose girlfriend is like, I want to get married. Why does she want to get married? Because she wants to have kids. And he's like, I don't want to get married. So they're at this crossroads. And we're not even, what sucks about being in that place, what sucks about being in that place is that's all we can see. Like it has nothing, I mean, I'm not going to say it has nothing to do with the guy, but fucking kind of doesn't. And I wish there was a different way. And I know that there is, but like we are assessing for our future. We are assessing. We're assessing viability of the relationship. We're assessing financial stability in the future, if not in the present moment. We're assessing fatherhood material. We're assessing, are we both on the same page? Do we both want the same thing? But here's the biggest realization that I got. Not even that, not even like, oh wow, I had this epiphany. Like, wow, I went into this relationship wanting kids. Guess what? Got them. And that helped me complete. That helped me be in full acceptance of what's so, which is I got my wish. I got my fucking wish. And I have been having the most fun with these girls ever since then because I'm like, oh, I got what I said I wanted. Now, I didn't want it at the cost of the relationship, but that was the primary reason. And that is what I'm left with. So I got what I intended. I got what I wanted. Here's the thing that I want to say to you, which is going to sound motherly. It's going to sound possibly judgmental. And I don't care because I know being on this side of it, I know something now that I didn't know then that I wish that I had. But I'm one of those people who I learn things by going through them. I learn things by experiencing them. So my experience gets to be your maybe saving yourself, not trouble, but like I want you to know that this is what happens. Not like the truth, but this is what happened with me. So I'm what was I gonna say? Like I'm oh yeah, it always comes back. It always comes back. I'm Did it come back and then go out just as fast? Fucking did, didn't it? This is why it takes so long. No, why it takes so long is because I do. I said, I said, I am. Then it left. And then it came back and I was so excited. And me being excited made it go again. I am. I was a self-proclaimed, I found it. I was a self-proclaimed feminist. Like, so the work that I've been doing in the world forever, since before my boot camp. Really, I mean, my boot camp and all that, but like an empowerer of women. Like my life path is about empowerment. And I've been empowering women to speak your truth. I've been empowering women to, be yourself fully. I've been empowering women to have difficult conversations. I've been empowering women to go for what you want. So get the body that you want, get the relationship that you want. I empower people. And so it's always felt like I've had this vein of feminism, you know, women can do it. And I feel a lot of this, like, I feel a lot of anger, frustration towards like the patriarchy and men being in power. And that's not something new. Like that's always been there. And so because of this kind of like, I'm not afraid of working. I love what I do. I love what I do. I'm good at what I do. And I really do see women, with female leadership being the thing that like, that's where we're going, right? Like collaboration, co-creation. So I am here on the planet to like usher in the new kind of dynamics of leadership, which look a lot like female leadership. And so being a feminist, and I'm using that term lightly, I really am. I'm not your typical feminist, but I have been I'm pro fem, work with women, don't want to work with men, here to empower women. And so women can do whatever they want. You can work and you can be successful and you can make millions of dollars. Here's the nugget 30 minutes in. The nugget is this: something will happen to you. Something will happen to you when you have a child that will shock you, and it may shift your values. And it did with me. The thing I didn't see coming was the moment that I had that baby, that was all I wanted to do. I did not want to go back to work. Eventually I did because I love what I do and I'm really like it's it's my purpose. It's my soul's work. Like I'm not here. I knew that I didn't want to be like a stay-at-home mom. However, I did while my babies were little. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to be required to go back to work. And my husband was not in a financial position for me not to. And that piece of it right there is the thing that I want you to consider before you even start to talk about having kids, is what happens after. Have that conversation. I am telling you now, you are going to. Now, you may not be a nurturer. You may not, but biologically, we are wired. I mean, we're physiologically, whether you want to breastfeed or not, that baby is inside you. You are holding that baby. You are making that, you're creating life. And when the baby comes out, everything in you is about that baby. Everything. Now, for me, and I'm saying this within the context of the dynamic that I didn't know I was creating, but was my greatest intention. Was I wanted a man so that it could have a baby too. I wanted two so that I could get on the biological clock thing. Like that was it. Now, if you don't want babies, if you don't care whether or not you have them, this message is not for you. But if you're one of those women who's feeling the pressure, late 20s, early 30s, you're like, is this guy right? Do I want to, do we want the same things? I want you to really consider and have a conversation. And this is the conversation that I wish that I would have known that I needed to have with him. First with myself, but obviously with him. Once that baby is born, I want to be with that baby for 3 months, 6 months, a year. I do not want to go back to work. Now, you're not going to think that's a big deal now because you don't know. You don't know what happens in you when you have that baby. And I'm just going to bring that down just so that's a little bit better. You don't know what happens physiologically, but I do. And I wish that I would have been able to see it or know that that was what was going to happen, but I didn't. And so I, and I will say this, we weren't prepared. We weren't in a financial position for me to not work. And I resented him for it. I resented him for not being the financial provider so that I could be home with my babies. And it most likely killed the relationship. Lots of things killed the relationship. I mean, my intention, what I actually ultimately wanted out of it, plus some other things that were out of my control. It takes two, always. You'll never hear me say, oh, it was all him, because it's not. I'm sitting here telling you right now, like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see who I was going to become after that baby was born, which was obsessed, and it's all I wanted to do. And then if I take it one or two steps further, the business that I created was not so that I could make a fucking shit ton of money. I didn't become a solopreneur. I didn't start my fitness business so that I could like build it to, 1,000 franchise locations and thought about it. I started down that path because this was all unbeknownst to me. This was all like in the background, but it changes you. I mean, it changes your priorities, it changes your values, it changes what you want to do now. And again, not as truth, but this was my experience. And so, because you don't know what it will be like until you actually go through it, life, we don't know until we go through it. That was what I went through. And I wasn't willing to have a conversation with him because I was just already pissed off. I was just already pissed off that he wasn't as ambitious as I was. Never, never, never had been. Never was probably going to be. And I believe my assessment, not truth or fact, I believe he would not have been aligned with that. He's, they were just like his values are no, you know, the woman works and all the things. And he just, that wasn't something that I think that I would have ever gotten from him. He wasn't the person that was like, babe, I got you. He was very supportive of my business, but always supportive of my business so that it could be successful and I could contribute more money. There's nothing wrong with that either. But that was not, looking back, that was not why I started my business. I started my business so that I could be with my kids more. And I didn't care about the success of it. I didn't, because I wanted him to provide. And that shocked the fuck out of me as a feminist. Shocked that I shocked me because that's a very traditional mindset. That's a like, I was so, when I realized that about myself, I was flabbergasted. Cause I'm like, I'm like, you can do it, fucking Gloria Steinem. And again, this is not, I'm not saying that I am, but it was so weird for me to consider who I had been in the world in work, what I really wanted to do, what I still want to do, what I ultimately do want to do. But during those years, I could give two fucks about it. And all I wanted to do was to have a provider, have someone who could take care of all the bills, allow me to be a mom, allow me to experience being a mom. I talk about this with my sister, and she actually had a way worse dynamic than I did from that perspective in her marriage. And she's like, I see these girls. She's still mourning it. We're in our 50s. She's been divorced for almost 10 years. She's like, I see these girls and I see their partners who are so supportive financially. And she's like, my heart breaks because I never got that. And I'm like, yeah. And and I think that the younger generation, I don't know if you guys are getting, first of all, what I do know, what I do see out in the world is that there's such a wave of young people looking at the bullshit paradigm of like work your ass off, sacrifice your youth for that someday I'm going to retire in my 60s mentality. They're like, y'all are like, it's the fucking dumbest thing. You all have been Gary Veed. And thank God. Like, thank God. That's not my mentality. My mentality has never been, and I thought I was fucking weird because of it. I'm gonna go sit in a cubicle. I'm gonna go sit at a desk and I'm gonna just do bullshit work, but I'm gonna get a really fat paycheck and the 401k and the things and the investment, what the fuck ever. Obviously, I don't have those because those were literally the opposite of my values. My values were I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to do profound work. I don't know what that looks like in the beginning, in the early years. I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know what that means, and I don't know how to actually make a living doing profound, purposeful work. And that was not my priority, was making money. My priority was living true. Always has been. Now both things are possible, especially now, especially as we're going through this transformation of how we work. Thank you, COVID. Thank you, lockdown. Thank you, pandemic. So, my message to you, my dear, sweet, beautiful, afraid, worried 28 to 32-year-old mamas, get really clear with yourself, really clear. And, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if marriage is the answer. I don't know. I don't. But if that's the route, because that's the thing that we're deeply conditioned to do in order to procreate and have the babies, know that you're going to not want to go back to work. At least not right away. I think it's in our country we don't have a 1 year paid paternity or maternity leave like in the European countries. In those countries who know what's more important than money, it's just a mother being with her child, developmenting, that developmental first year. Like we have it really fucked up here. And it's changing, but I want you to know that you're going to want that. And if you've got the money in the bank, take it, do it. Or if there's someone else in your life who can provide that for you, take it because you can't get it back. There's two things that I think are more important than money. You always hear people say time. You can't get back time. You can always make more money, but you can't get back time. I'll say, yes, I 100% of time is way more valuable than money. It's finite. Energy is also a really important commodity, where you're putting your energy. Energy is not finite. However, our human capacity, physical capacity is. So I always say energy is also something that is more important than money. So I hope this serves you. If you have any questions about my journey that are specific, yeah, but what about, just comment on the YouTube podcast thingamabob, whatever the fuck it is. Or you can always send me an email, hello@kristinlena.com. You can send me a DM on Instagram. I think I'm going to close down my LinkedIn page. I just don't care. Facebook is like, what is Facebook? I don't know what Facebook is. Facebook is like for old ladies. Facebook is for memes and for being connected to my family. And that's where I have the most amount of people. I don't care. My goal is to get to 10K Instagram followers by the end of the year. I just declared that just now. 10K IG by 12/31/25. Can y'all help me get there? I'm at 888 today. Well, the last time I checked yesterday, which is a great number because my life path number is an 8. I'm a life path 8. So 888, thanks. Let's make it 8,888. Shall we? All right. I hope this serves. I'm sending you love. I'm sending you courage. If you don't know how to have a difficult conversation, please reach out to me. I have my courageous communication framework for $44. It is a very profound training. And it's at $44 because I want more and more people, women, to have this framework to be able to like ask for what they want and not like be weird about it. Stop being weird about it. Okay. Sending you all kinds of love. Have a great day wherever you are, and pass this on to someone that you think absolutely needs to hear this. All right. Thanks.